The sirens wailed through the quiet morning, slicing the calm of my vineyard like a knife through ripe fruit. One minute, I was pruning vines under the soft glow of dawn in Willow Creek Valley, and the next, red and blue lights pulsed at my gate. My mother, Ellen Harper, stood on the porch, her voice sharp with disbelief. They called the cops over grapes? Like we're hiding a bomb in the dirt. And there, front and center, was the Homeowners Association president, Karen Ellison, smirking like she'd just saved the entire town of Crestwood from a catastrophe. This wasn't about rules or noise complaints. It felt personal, like I'd stumbled into a vendetta I didn't understand. I didn't know whether to laugh, argue, or bolt. What would you have done? I'm Ethan Brooks, 29, a self-made farmer who turned a barren plot into Willow Creek Vineyard, a thriving business in just 3 years. Rows of lush grapevines now stretch across hills that catch the sunlight like a painting. My mom, Ellen, 62, sharp as a tack and twice as fierce, lives with me on the property. That morning in late April 2024, she spotted Karen striding up our driveway like she was inspecting a crime scene. "Ethan," she called, "there's a woman coming, and she looks like trouble." I set down my shears, half curious, half dreading what was coming. Karen Ellison, 50, president of the Crestwood Community Board, marched toward me with the precision of a drill sergeant. Her crisp blazer, unmoving bob haircut, and iPad clutched like a weapon screamed authority. "We need to discuss serious issues with your vineyard," she declared, her voice dripping with accusation, as if I were running an illegal operation instead of growing fruit. She rattled off vague complaints about disrupting the community's aesthetic and compromising property values. I asked for specifics, keeping my tone calm, but her eyes narrowed, like my composure was a personal insult. Things took a strange turn when she froze in front of the sign reading Willow Creek Estate. Her face twisted, first confusion, then something like recognition. "This name, it's familiar," she muttered, her confident mask slipping. I shrugged casually. Named it for the creek out back and the way the sun sets over the hills. But her reaction stuck with me. What did she know that I didn't? She brushed it off, handed me a 30-day ultimatum to comply with regulations, and left. I called my lawyer, David Carter, who chuckled darkly when I recounted the story. "Ethan, want me to send a polite letter about property rights?" His tone hinted at something bigger, but he didn't elaborate. A week later, Karen returned with a posse, 3 HOA members armed with clipboards, cameras, and a decibel meter, like they were investigating a nuclear spill. There was Mark Thompson, a jittery accountant, a retired librarian named Clara, and a guy who claimed to be an irrigation expert. They poked around, measuring noise from my water pump, quieter than my old truck, and snapping photos of everything from my solar panels to the gravel path. Karen announced a $2,500 fine for excessive noise and road damage from my delivery trucks. I overheard Mark whisper to Clara, "This doesn't add up." She threatened a full compliance review of my house if I didn't sign off on this. Clara nodded nervously. "She's got my unpermitted patio on file." It hit me. Karen wasn't just enforcing rules, she was running a blackmail scheme, strong-arming neighbors with petty violations to back her crusade. I decided to fight back, but not with lawyers. I invited the whole neighborhood to an open house at the Vineyard. "Come see what the HOA's so upset about," the flyers read. On a sunny Saturday, 20 families showed up, expecting chaos but finding rows of healthy vines, clean equipment, and a professional setup. A jogger named Lisa admitted, "I thought this was some messy factory." "It's beautiful," her husband added. "Karen made it sound like you were poisoning the water." Then Tom Keller, a former HOA board member, pulled me aside. I signed her complaint because she threatened to sue over my unapproved fence. "She's got dirt on everyone's decks, paint colors, you name it." The truth spread like wildfire. Neighbors started questioning Karen's tactics, trading phone numbers to investigate her HOA reign. 3 days later, Karen doubled down, calling an emergency meeting at the Crestwood Community Center to stop illegal commercial activity. The room buzzed with 60 people, tension thick as fog. Karen's PowerPoint was a masterpiece of manipulation, photos of utility lines framed to look suspicious, claims I was stealing electricity and dumping chemicals into the groundwater. "We're all paying for his greed," she thundered. But the crowd wasn't buying it. Tom stood up. "I saw his vineyard. It's legit. Where's your evidence, Karen? Clara chimed in. I was at the inspection. She lied about what we saw. Karen's composure cracked. She waved a banner of signatures, screaming about protecting the community, but the room turned chaotic, neighbors arguing, some pulling out phones to check their deeds. The next morning, May 5th, 2024, police cruisers roared up my drive. Officer Sarah Mitchell, no nonsense and calm, led the charge, flanked by Sergeant Daniel Torres and 2 rookies. Karen, clutching her file, launched into her accusations, pointing at my vines like they were a crime scene. This valley's resources belong to us, she declared. I invited the officers to my office, handing over permits, licenses, and a county property map. Sarah's eyes widened as she read it. Mr. Brooks, this changes everything. You own 3,000 acres from the creek to Route 17. The entire Crestwood subdivision is on your land. Sergeant Torres whistled. So, she's been trying to regulate your landlord? I nodded. She's my tenant, along with every house in that neighborhood. The radio crackled with county confirmation. Willow Creek Estate owned it all. Sarah called for a supervisor, her voice tinged with amusement. We've got a tenant trying to fine her landlord for using his own property. We drove to a hilltop overlooking Crestwood. The neat houses, the park, the trails all leased from my family. She tried to evict the ground beneath her, I said, half laughing. Back at the gate, Karen's confidence shattered as Sarah explained the truth. You're his tenant, Ms. Ellison. The HOA has no jurisdiction here. Karen stammered. We own our homes. Sarah clarified. You own the houses, not the land. I stepped in. Lease reviews are next week. Read the fine print this time. The gathered neighbors gasped, some checking their phones, piecing it together. As the police left, Sarah grinned. Good luck with your harvest, Mr. Brooks. Looks like you've got this under control. Karen walked away, silent, humiliated, as neighbors apologized for being misled. That night, David called. 10 families want to renew their leases early. They know who's boss now. I laughed, staring at the valley's twinkling lights tenants, not just neighbors. Ellen asked, regret letting it go this far? I shook my head. Some lessons hit harder when you think you're in charge. So, here's where I need your take. If your biggest enemy was secretly your tenant, would you crush them with the truth right away, or let them dig their own grave? Would you stay a quiet landlord, or make sure everyone knew you held the power? And when does justice become revenge? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this got your blood pumping, and subscribe for more stories where the truth flips the game.